Call of Duty just released their multiplayer reveal trailer and also their multiplayer deep dive on the Call of Duty website. If you haven't watched the trailer, make sure to go check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. For the most part, it's just another Call of Duty multiplayer reveal trailer. Nothing too crazy. Where they show off a couple cool things, couple returning things, maybe a couple new things. So I wanted to make you guys a video of going over the deep dive of the blog post that they made. I'm not going to go over all of it because there is a lot that they actually put into it. If there's something in here that you don't hear about, I highly recommend you go read it for yourself and kind of read more into it rather than the broad spectrum of what I'm going to give you guys today. So first off, they talk about the game mode Overload, this new mode that they're bringing in this year. It's actually playable in the beta, so that'll be fun. It sounds like they're grounded uplink. If you haven't played uplink in Black Ops 3, I think it was in Infinite Warfare 2 before that. I could be wrong. I didn't really play Infinite Warfare. I really just played on Black Ops 3. But uplink is basically where you would have the little like ball or whatever it was, and you jetpack around the map, and you can actually throw it into the zone. So I'm thinking Overload is very similar to that. I hope you can throw the bomb. I think that was a real game changer in Black Ops 3. So if it's very similar to that, surely you can be able to throw the bomb. But I'm actually excited for it. I might try it out in the beta. But other than that, it's just another gimmicky COD multiplayer game mode that either people are gonna either love or they're gonna hate. So other modes that they are obviously bringing back are the same plain Jane game modes that they've always had for years now, which is Team Deathmatch, available at beta, Domination at beta, No Search to Destroy at beta, Kill Confirmed at beta, Hardpoint at beta, and then pretty much everything else is not on beta, but it will be at launch, which is free for all, gunfight, kill order, control, and also the skirmish mode and the face-off modes as well. So the skirmish mode actually is the 20v20 objective focus based map. They're dropping 2 of those at launch, so those actually look really fun. I haven't really been a big fan of ground war in the last couple years outside of like the OG ground war when it was 16v16, I think, on like Black Ops 1 and OG MW2, where you just played on regular maps. But other than that, I haven't really played ground war. But for some reason this year, I don't know if it's the wingsuits or the grappling hooks or the maps, which we'll talk about the maps later. It's got me hooked. I don't know why. I'm very curious to see how it plays out this year. I might give it a little bit of a try. Then we get into the maps, 16 core launch maps for 6v6. And like I said, 2 skirmish maps. There's not too much to say on the maps outside of in the blog post where it talks about a 2035 setting and how it's supposed to be more grounded in the Black Ops universe. And each map is designed for fast gunplay and around the original 3-lane design Treyarch is famously known for. With that being said, it looks like they're trying to get away from all the weird maps that they've been trying to test out the last couple of years. And hopefully, we actually get some good maps, at least at launch, and hopefully throughout the whole entire cycle. If you guys watched my last video, maps were the huge part of how I thought Black Ops 7 would be a great game again if they had great launch maps. And hopefully they listen and they have some good stuff cooking up for us, with which they look beautiful, but you can't really say much until you actually play the game itself. So we actually get 6 maps coming at beta. You got the Blackheart, Cortex, Exposure, Imprint, the Forge, and Toshin. And then the maps that are not on beta that'll come at launch are Colossus, Den, Flagship, Homestead, Paranoia, Retrieval, Scar, Express, Hijack, and Raid, which are all back from Black Ops 2. Then the skirmish maps you have are Edge and Tide, which we'll get into that as well. But just briefly looking at the pictures of all these maps, I'm not going to scroll through. I'm not going to pause for all of them, so just make sure to pause if you want to see them. They look beautiful. They look really great. I think, what was the map up here? Blackheart, where you got the little double jump area right here. I think the jumping mechanics are going to be not necessarily make or break. I think you get away with not using them, but if you know how to use them, it'll separate you from the rest of the pack. You got like Exposure looks great. Imprint, I think, is going to be my favorite map right here. And reminds me a lot of Summit. I don't know why. Probably because of snow and the outer layers. And you kind of got this little staircase right there that kind of leads down to the laboratory. But I don't know. This has got my vote as a preseason winner map of the year. We'll come back to this if it's the greatest map ever, or if it's the worst map, we're just going to delete this video from history. Next up, we got the skirmish maps, which the first one you got is Edge, which looks like it's in the downtown streets of Avalon. Just another probably large city size map for the 20v20 maps. But the next one, Tide, actually looks really sick. You're storming this base right up here, this large scale military compound on the coastal waters of Avalon. That one looks really cool. It looks like there's a lot you can do inside that little area. I wonder if you can fight outside these towns over here on the outskirts of it. I'm sure you can, since it's going to be 20v20, but I'm very excited for that one as well. Next up, you got loadouts and equipment. Nothing really has changed besides different change of equipments, but nothing big outside of the new overclock system, which we'll talk about in a little bit, which basically you can supercharge different field upgrades, tactical equipment, lethal equipment, whatever it may be, to get different various different enhancements on them. First off, this loadout screen looks freaking beautiful. It reminds me a lot of Black Ops 3 just from the text font that they have for everything, the how beautiful it looks, how colorful it looks, how you can hit LB and RB to go back and forth rather than up and down. Other than it looking beautiful, I have to say it's very clean. It looks super easy to use. It's not cluttered. So overclocks, that's the new feature that they got over here. You can customize your tactical, lethal, and field upgrades and score streaks using the overclock system. I'm not gonna deep dive into that because they did write basically every little detail for every little tactical, lethal, score streak, and field upgrade. So make sure to go read that blog post if you want to get all the known overclocks for each one of those. Only really new stuff that we got in the tactical range are the pinpoint grenade. That's the one where you throw it, I guess it explodes and it has like a little like sticky pin that like attaches to all the enemies nearby. And if they're nearby, it'll basically show the location of them until the enemy basically rips out the pinpoint needle, whatever you want to call it. But until they rip it out, you'll see their location for probably a little bit until it expires. So that one would be pretty cool. That one's brand new. And then you got the Hunter bot, which the Hunter bot is a personal defensive device that hovers near and homes in on enemy equipment, field upgrades, and score streaks before exploding on impact. So that's just another tactical that they added in there. For lethals, not much has really changed outside of the needle drone and the point turret. And the cluster grenade too, I guess. Which cluster grenade pretty self-explanatory. I think they put in the trailer quite a few times. Basically, just a cluster of grenades that happens after it explodes. Point turret, you set it down, it'll shoot and distract enemies. I don't think it says it can't kill them. I don't think it'll kill them unless they're standing right in front of it over a long period of time. And the needle drone, actually is a small flying drone that explodes on impact, and you can toggle between auto or manual control. That's a big drone that they've been showing in the trailers, the last couple trailers that they posted. Field upgrades, the only new ones we got is a drone pod, which I guess if you set it down, a bunch of drones come out and they go find stuff to destroy. Active camo, obviously active camo, just like in Halo. A couple cool overclocks with that one. It's just like Halo, where if you shoot, it doesn't necessarily get rid of your active camo right then and there. It'll let you grow back after you stop shooting. So that, I guess if you don't have the overclock for that, you just lose it as soon as you shoot, which is, I get it, but whatever. Then you got the Black Hat, which is just a hacking device that they bought back from Black Ops 2. Mute field, I think basically everything gets really quiet and it kind of locks into like enemy movement and everything. Echo unit, I actually don't remember what that is. Oh, that's the holographic soldier decoy. Which actually goes in and captures and holds objectives. So really good to use if you're an objective player. Kind of like whatever whatever they had in Cold War, where if you put it down, it would hold the flag for you and actually capture the flag and actually like contest the flag for you too. So I think that'll be really cool to use depending on how well it works. Then wild cards, you don't really know too much about the newer wild cards until we actually get to the game, but you basically have your gunfighter, overkill, perk greed, and specialist. That's all the stuff we really know about. Nothing too crazy there until we dive into the perks. This was a little weird. I've been trying to watch a couple of YouTube videos on it from Who is Immortal and Exclusive Ace. Shout out to those guys. And they kind of talked about how, like, you know, perk 1 looks cool. It's 3, 3, and 3. But then you get to perk 2 and it's 4, 3, 2. And then perk 3 is 4, 2, 1. So it looks like Enforcer is really like heavy this year. So I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out, as well as the new hybrid specialties that you can add on here. So you have like an offensive stealth hybrid, which is a mix of Enforcer and Recon. And then you have the Tactician, which is support and offense, which is a mix of Enforcer and Strategist. And then the last one you have is Stealth and Support, which is a mix of Recon or Strategist perks. Then you got your core specialties just like they had last year. You got Enforcer, Recon, and Strategist, all pretty much do the same thing. So nothing has really changed for that. So then in the blog, it goes in the weapon details and score streaks. I actually read this for the first time right now, but at launch, it'll deliver 30 weapons, including 16 debuting for the first time in franchise history. So that'd be cool. So you're not getting the same MP5, the same M4 all over again, even though they're classic weapons. It should be fun seeing them create new weapons and the Call of Duty franchise and seeing how they play out in real time. Other than that, they have the gunsmith and global weapons build, which I'll talk about that. Let me find the link. But basically the weapon build sharing, let's say like I build a whole sick peacekeeper class and my buddy's like, hey, what's all the attachments you put on it? Instead of going through the attachments 5 times because I know they're not listening to me, I can just copy and paste the code, put it in Discord, text it to them, put it in Xbox chat, whatever it is, and send it to them. They can type in the code, paste the code, whatever it may be on their end, and automatically get their build right then and there. So I can already see there's going to be a bunch of new YouTubers this year that are just going to make weapon build YouTube videos and have all their codes plastered everywhere and make you wait to the very end of the video to actually see it. So, but other than that, that's really cool. I'm very excited for that. Also, you can actually change your weapons in the firing range, build them differently. That's also a huge W in my books too. Instead of backing out, building them, going back to the firing range of all that nonsense. Now, again, referring back to my last video, I talked about maps need to be great. And I also talked about score streaks need to be really great for Black Ops 7 to be a really good game. And I'm actually very excited for the score streaks this year. You know, you have the same stuff like the Scout Pulse, RCXD, UAV, but then you have other cool stuff like the Skewer, which I guess, like, I don't know if because you don't control it sounds like. So I don't know if it just sticks around the sky and pinpoints someone and finds them and kills them like that, or if you actually somehow target them. But it looks cool. It's something different. Care package, obviously, counter UAV, LGM, which is basically like I guess a mortar strike, just a fancier word for it. Napalm strikes are coming back. Sentry charges are coming back. Hellstorm missiles are also coming back. Hand cannon. The cool part is about the overclock. You get a dual hand cannon. That'll be sick for an overclock just to mess around with. I can already see the madness that's going to happen with that. Then you have the Gravemaker, which everyone, at least from what I've read online, is very worried about because it's a one-hit kill sniper rifle that can reveal and eliminate targets behind cover. So I'm very curious to see how that is. It's actually in the beta, so I'll have to try it out and test it for myself. What they should have done made it like how the Prophet had his Tempest rifle or whatever it is, where it just does like a chain link of like shockwaves. I think that would have been a little bit better rather than you just get a one-shot kill and basically wall hacks, because that definitely does not help with the cheating allegation. So we'll see how that's going to be. Then you have the Dog, the deployable armor weaponized groundcraft, featuring a large caliber turret and a rocket pod, very effective against infantry targets. Super cool about that, especially with the overclock where it can hunker down and it basically serves as a trophy system. So that'll be a cool kill streak, something different. And then you have the interceptors, the watchdog helo, the HKDs. I think are going to be really sick. I think they're like a smaller version of like what Raps were in Black Ops 3 or like Attack Dogs and all the other classic Call of Duties. So basically they deliver these things called 100 kill drones, which seek targets and explode. And I guess if you have one of the overclocks on, it actually adds more to the drop pod. So that could be a huge thing too if you want to completely annoy your opponents. But I think those are going to be a really cool kill streak. And then you have the Rhino. He looks freaking sick. He looked crazy in that trailer. It looked like he did even a finishing move on him on one of the characters. So that's freaking sick. But basically, it's a remotely controlled armored robotic soldier equipped with a deadly minigun. I guess it's sort of like the little robot that you could control that only drove on the ground. I can't remember the name of it right now, but they've had it for a few years. It was hard to control. So hopefully the Rhino is going to be a little bit easier to control. I assume it is since you're actually walking around. I doubt it's going to be able to double jump and everything, but it's going to be like basically a big mech suit. So that one I'm really excited to try out, just because one, you get a minigun, and if you can do a finisher move on people, that's another sick crazy thing to do as well. Then obviously you got the VTOL coming back, the HARP coming back, and EMP systems, and everyone's favorite if you played the OG Black Ops 2 Legion, basically the swarm drones are coming back. Those are going to be pretty crazy. So I'm excited to try to get that if the the skill-based matchmaking lets me. Next up in the blog report, you got the wall jumps. Like I said, I don't think they're going to be make or break the game, but I think if you know how to use them to your advantage, it's going to change the trajectory of how you play. There was one part in the trailer when I watched it for the first time. The guy was aiming at a guy on the second floor in one of the buildings, kills the guy, and I was like, oh, that'd be really cool if you could actually jump up there, like instead of walking up the stairs, going back around that area. And then in the trailer, he just did. I was like, whoa, that was crazy. Was Call of Duty read my mind? So I think wall jumps are going to be really cool, especially if you know how to do it. They can actually be chained together for up to 3 times, but you get a loss of inertia each time to keep the momentum balance, which is, I would say, a good thing. So I'm very curious to see how it works out in the beta. Another cool thing that they added in the trailer that is shown in the very first 10 seconds is a grenade body shield finisher. Basically copy Gears of War. I ain't gonna lie, they copy Gears of War. You get them into the body shield mechanic. You can put a grenade in their back, kick them, and then after a while the grenade explodes and then kill them. And I guess it can cause collateral damage too. And I guess you can time it right too. I thought I said, oh yeah, in the note, you can hone your timing with an explosive technique in the multiplayer training. So I guess like you don't have to automatically release them after you put the grenade in them. You're gonna hold them and then kind of push them out. So I hope that that's true. That'd be actually really sick and actually a little bit more fun to do it with. Then you have the operators. I mean, not too much to say outside of like, you know, you get the typical zombie players in there. Not zombie players, the zombie operators in there. Other than that, they're operators. They look cool. Last couple things before we end this video. Classic Prestige is back. Obviously, it was a lot of fun with it finally being back last year. That's one of my biggest complaints for the last couple Call of Duties, so I'm very excited for that to come back. Weapon Prestige is also coming back with up to 250 levels with unique milestones and final universal camo to obtain. That's gonna be a lot more fun. Also, I know they changed I might be jumping the gun, but they changed the weapon camo requirements for 80 headshots instead of 100. Shotguns are like point blanks and snipers are one shot. So that'll make it a lot more easier and a lot more fun to actually use the shotguns and snipers, because I absolutely hate using shotguns and snipers. So then it follows up in here with the level unlocks. Each weapon features 2 weapon prestige levels followed by a weapon prestige master, providing 250 additional levels to climb through with a unique camo award to the players who get to the end. Basically like the OG weapon prestige, you get a attachment that you get to unlock and keep forever, and a unique weapon camo. Nothing too crazy with that. It's just gonna be a lot more fun, I think, this year with so much unlockable stuff that you can get throughout the game's life cycle. Yeah, and then pretty much after that, it just finishes up with the career and the weapon camos, where basically you can get camos from the multiplayer, the campaign, zombies, everything like that, because it's all built in together. Calling card challenges, daily challenge reroll, weekly challenges. It sounds like they're gonna go a lot more into the challenge, like daily challenges and weekly challenges. I saw a tweet where they were kind of like upset how it was kind of like pointless for Black Ops 6. So I think it should be a lot more fun this year in terms of challenges. Not that anyone really does them until like there's some kind of reward for it. So we'll see on how that works this year. But yeah, back in the weapon camos, there's 9 military camos, 3 special camos, 4 mastery camos, and 16 different mastery camos across all 4 modes. So that'll be fun. Again, with the thing that I was talking about earlier with the headshots and better camo pacing, it's 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way up to 80. Shotguns require point blank kills, and sniper rifles are one-shot kills. You can now equip any universal camo to any weapon. Previous requirement having to unlock 5 military camos on the weapon before equipping universal camo has been removed. Different Warzone camo challenges. There was a lot of frustrating ones last year, especially with the rocket launcher one. So it sounds like they're gonna make it a little bit easier in season 1. Then they kind of finishing out with mastery badges, stats, and profile. Nothing too crazy. So yeah, like that was pretty much the blog. Again, a ton of stuff in there that it would have been like a 60-minute video of recording time, then 30-minute video final after I chopped everything up. If you actually want to go in and read the blog post, definitely go read it. I'll leave it in the description down below. There's a lot of stuff talking about the overclock stuff for the tactical, lethal, and everything. Go read all that. There's a lot of cool stuff with it. But if you enjoyed today's video and want to see more Black Ops 7 content, leave a like below, subscribe, share with your friends, go join the Discord, go follow all the social medias down below. It's been your boy LeBrankston, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.